This is LMU I'm Scott Erlin here with head men's basketball coach Josh Schertz. Just catching up with you, Coach. 3-0 right now, but let's not look back to last weekend. Let's instead look at the SAC opener last night, 79-67 win over Mars Hill. What did you think of that performance?
I thought we played pretty well. Mars Hill's significantly improved team. We knew that coming in. They came in 3-0. Rick's done a great job there of bringing in some really impactful transfers to go along with two guys back in Anderson and Cuthbertson that have been there. So a very good team. And I thought we, for the most part, did some really good things. Obviously still a long way to go, particularly defensively. A lot of, what I would say are controllable errors in terms of what we can do and things we can fix. So hopefully we'll go back to work. The big thing is to try to keep winning games while you're improving. There's a lot of improving to do, but I was happy with the way the guys competed. I thought there was a stretch there in the second half from about the 10-minute mark to about the 5-minute mark where Lorenzo just was phenomenal. I think he scored or assisted on 20 straight points, I believe, and broke open the game. What was a 3-point game became a 15-point game, and so he was tremendous. And I thought Luquan, really first 3 games has been dynamite on both sides of the floor, both ends. He's really just been very, very good from obviously what he's done offensively shows up there, but also he's taken on the task of guarding the team's best offensive player with Curtis Webb out with the plantar fasciitis. So proud of those guys, and the team in general has done a good job. A lot to fix, a lot to improve on, but good starting point.
And let's talk briefly about Lorenzo Ross. Me and you talked about him after the game a little bit. It was pretty spectacular to watch what happened. He comes off the bench checks in about 12 minutes into the game. He's only got 4 points at that point. He ends up with a game-high 19 points. He's lived up to every bit of his hype this year. He's kind of stepped in and filled in for the shoes of some of the guys we lost last year. How would you assess how he's been this year?
I think he's been tremendous. He's made great progress as a player. He really had a big jump this offseason. You can look at him from any which way. I think he's a much better defender than he was last year. I think he's his efficiency in terms of finishing plays at the rim. You look at his shooting percentage. I don't know off the top of my head, but I think he shot about 43% last year. He's up in the 60s right now, which means he's getting to the rim and finishing plays. He's taking that extra dribble, settling for less floaters and more, finishes at the rim. And the thing he's done the best to me is he had a tendency to play in crowds and drive and force help and try to take one more dribble or make an acrobatic shot. And you look at him now and he forces and draws crowds and he's making the right reads, and that's really been beneficial for guys like Luquan and Tim Pierce and Curtis McMillian, Keenan Peterson have kind of been able to live off that. With Vinny, we're able to put pressure on the basket through Vinny. His presence down there and we'll be having a true low post anchor. Without that this year, our best chance to put pressure on the basket comes through Lorenzo and his ability to make plays off the bounce. So he's vital to what we're doing. So been more than pleased, and he's another guy that's doing it on both sides of the ball, both ends of the floor, and that's now the question for him and the same for Luquan is can they do it over the course of a season consistently, because that's what the elite players do.
And now let's look ahead. We knew the schedule was going to be tough. The early portion of the SAC schedule was going to be tough, but it looks even a little more daunting than I think we originally thought. You have Queens this weekend in Charlotte. Last night they put it on Lenore Ryan, 77-52. Numbers really jump out at you. They outscored them 52-22 in the second half alone. What kind of task do you think you have ahead of you this weekend?
Well, an unbelievable one. I think going into it, I think I said in the preseason when we did the prospectus on the schedule, I thought Queens was probably the most talented team in the league, and nothing I've seen probably changes that opinion. They're really, really talented, very well coached. They are, I think kind of getting their bearings. They seem like the first 2 games maybe didn't play to their level. They get to halftime, they're trailing Lenore Ryan, then all of a sudden a good Lenore Ryan team, they outscore them by 30 points and a half, and it just shows they've got some impact transfers. Guys like Rob Lewis, Marquise Franken, Sean Morgan, Nkosi Ali, who's back from last year. They've got some good young freshmen that are giving them some minutes, but it's a really talented team, very well coached. I told our guys, we've had 3 home games. We played some good competition. Certainly, King is, I think, an NCAA tournament team. I think Queen's an NCAA tournament team. But we need this. We need to go play a really good team in a tough environment and kind of see where we are right now. And so this is probably a good time for us to play this game. It's going to take a great effort for us to have a chance to have success.
And then you don't want to look too far ahead, obviously, but then you only get 2 days of rest before you head to Anderson, and we know all about that Anderson series. Obviously, more of let's say the drama of the series has been here, but you still head to Anderson early on, just 2 days after. How do you prepare your team for this kind of stretch?
Well, it was difficult last year, to be honest with you. Because we had the same. It was at home last year, thankfully. This year is different on the road. We got to go to Charlotte and then come all the way back to go back to Anderson, which is not fun. But I think you have to kind of prepare them one at a time. We're gonna have our hands full with Queens. We're gonna take everything we have to have a chance. They're good enough. Queens good enough. We go down there and play great and still get beat. But I know if we don't play great, we have no chance to win. Anderson is a program that, like you said, over the last 5 years, we've had some great games with. Unfortunately for us, most time the wrong teams won. But we know going down there should be a great environment. Jason's built not just a good team, but an excellent program. And I know I don't know if Chris Ross will be back. I know he's been out the first few games, but he's a first, second team All-League type guy inside for him. And even without him, they were, I think, super competitive with Augusta State and Clayton State. Dropped close games, one they probably should have had at least, maybe both. They beat a really good Young Harris team on the road last night, and Jason just does a wonderful job. They've got an elite program. We'll have to play very, very well to have a chance to have success in either one of these games. But this is, what it is in our league. The league is so challenging. You're put in these positions on a nightly basis. As we say, the schedule is relentless, and really for us, even the early schedule, Leeds McRae was significantly improved from where they were previous years. Mars Hill is light years ahead of where they've been. We knew King was going to be a great challenge, so it's just kind of the next in line. You got to go out, you got to play well, and like we always say, the team that executes best, longest wins, and we're going to have to play at a really, really high level in either game to have a chance to be there at the end. And if you do win them, we went down there and played last year, and at Queens, I think we won at the very end of the game by 1, and then you look at the Anderson game. Zoe hit a 3 in the final seconds to win that game. Both games we trailed, I think, under a minute to go, and we're able to eke out wins. I expect if we play well, it'll be a similar type deal.
All right, Coach. First 2 road trips to the South Atlantic Conference schedule. We wish you the best luck, and we'll catch up with you after that trip.
Sounds great, Scott. Appreciate it.